I want to talk to you about Hivebrite, and Hivebrite is a great community platform. And if you don't like Hivebrite for a reason, okay, it's important to really look at the substitutes. Okay, so here are the top alternatives I want you to think about this year when it comes to Hivebrite. One thing I want you to really remember here is that the first such alternative, which is Mighty Pro, is pretty great. The reason is that Mighty Pro actually wins when it comes to user friendliness, when it comes to engagement, when it comes to monetization, and most importantly, when it comes to apps. See, the thing is that when you're looking for a Hivebrite alternative, you want to pay attention to the app part because you want to really improve your users' mobile experience, right? So Mighty Pro does a great job in terms of helping you with everything that I just said. And so basically, Mighty Pro actually brings together community, content, courses, and commerce, what I call the 4 C's. And if you are a content creator, you want to really pay attention to those 4 C's, okay? Community, content, courses, and commerce, okay? And that's kind of cool. And also, what I love with Mighty Pro is that it has a feature called Space or Spaces, if you will. And those spaces give you flexible containers that can hold forums, chat, courses, live streaming, and integrated events. So spaces are pretty good. I mean, Mighty Pro is not the only one offering that because another player such as Circle has those spaces also. Okay, but the cool thing here is that you can actually paywall your content around those, let's say, around those spaces. And also, what I love about Mighty Pro is that you have tons of engagement features like live streaming, polls, Q&A, and group chats. You have also, you can add unlimited members, hosts, and moderators. You have a platform that grows with you. So that's pretty good in terms of scaling. Like if your community started at, let's say, at 100 members, you have the possibility to have access to the same features. If your community were to grow to, let's say, 1,000 members or even 10,000 members, okay, that's pretty good in terms of flexibility. And what I love about Mighty Pro also is that basically, in terms of analytics, in terms of data analysis, this platform is pretty great. Also, you are able to charge in more than 135 currencies. Okay, so if you have, let's say, a globally focused, a globally oriented sort of community, like if you have members in Australia, members in Nigeria, members in Brazil, members in the UAE, members in the UK, whatever, you have the possibility to actually monetize your content, monetize your community through Mighty Pro. So if you're looking for the best Hivebrite alternatives, I also want to introduce you to Kajabi. So Kajabi community, and Kajabi actually started as let's say a creator platform. So they were kind of similar to Teachable, and then they actually veered a little bit into community building, okay, community platforms, okay. So this is kind of cool. And so one thing I want you to really remember here is that Kajabi is a common creator platform that users can use to build online courses very fast. And so that's kind of cool. So, and as one of its features, Kajabi lets you build a community to go with your courses. So that's a great Hivebrite alternative there. The community platform on Kajabi has a functional discussion forum that can actually be divided into topics and courses, and it can be a good place to create a community. So what I love about Kajabi here is that the ability to divide or subdivide things into topics and courses actually is good because as a content creator, you want to really be as granular as possible, or you can be as general as possible too. I mean, Kajabi actually gives you that option. And also, one thing you need to understand here is that the possibility to actually monetize fast on Kajabi is pretty strong too. Now, there are two main downsides. I mean, Kajabi is pretty good, it's pretty decent, but they have what I call two downsides. The first one is that you have limited community functionality because Kajabi originally and also now focuses on its courses, okay? I mean, focuses on courses, helping you sell courses, okay? So Kajabi can help you sell courses, but you're not going to build a community really. So if you don't have a course to sell, for instance, and you just want a community, it wouldn't really make much sense to build there. And so that's the first downside. That's the first, let's say, drawback. The second drawback here is that basically Kajabi is really expensive. Really expensive. Okay. So if cost is actually a priority for you, like if budget is actually a priority for you, Kajabi will not be your, should not be your first destination. Okay. So when you think about the best Hivebrite alternatives, I also want you to think about Discourse. So besides Mighty Pro and Kajabi, you have Discourse. And the cool thing about Discourse here is that Discourse has been around for a while. It's known. Okay, this is a known brand. And please don't confuse this with Discord. I'm talking here about Discourse. Okay. So basically, Discourse actually has its own custom coding options. So it's a basic community builder that lets you create discussion boards and organize conversations, as well as giving you engagement. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I love that engagement, let's say a portion of discourse. Okay. So you can respond to posts, for instance. Okay. And it's an open code. Okay. So the code is free on GitHub, and theoretically you could code a community with it, but you still need to pay for hosting of some sort. Okay. So it's something to really remember. Now, the hosting on the discourse site starts from $100 a month. So it's something to really remember. So that means what? It means if you go with discourse, you better have some kind of programming knowledge in your team, either natively, like in-house, or you can outsource it to a third party. Okay. So discourse is a good option for you if you have some coding knowledge or you are willing to hire a developer. That's what I'm trying to say here. If not, the other platforms that I'm just telling you are just way better for you. Okay. Especially when it comes to a learning curve, by the way, because if you're looking for an already done sort of platform, don't go with discourse. And so the place where discourse is limited as a Hivebrite substitute is on the event side. There are really no event features here. So if you want to really host events on discourse, you will not be able to do so. Okay, and that will be really complicated. Or you're gonna have to have a plugin, a third-party plugin. But the cool thing about discourse is that you have a clean design, you have options for self-coding, and you have good notification process and organization. On the flip side, like I said, it's complicated to use and expensive if you don't code. You have limited video options and no course or events functionality here. If you're looking for a Hivebrite alternative this year, think about Slack. Now, Slack is not really your community, like your typical community builder. Okay, it's important to understand that Slack is mostly sort of I would say a communication platform, a productivity platform. Okay. So if you've ever been hired in a modern workplace, there is a good chance you've come across the co-working app Slack. Okay. So Slack is pretty much everywhere and lots of people know how to use it, making it a potential Hivebrite alternative for hosting your community. Now, the fact that everyone knows Slack means it's a decent alternative to Hivebrite with some of the same discussion features, right? And if you really care about discussion features, then that's pretty good. It also has a top-notch app for all devices. That's pretty good. So especially if you want to scale your community, if you want to really make your community's mobile experience very great, Slack could actually be an important platform to consider. Now, the limitations to Slack as an alternative to Hivebrite are the same as its strengths. It's great for discussions, but doesn't really do much more than this, okay? So like Discourse, you couldn't host an event on it. It's much more for chatting than building powerful communities. So it's something to really think about. So when it comes to pros and cons real fast about Slack, pros, you have a popular interface that many people know, like many people have been using Slack and either professionally or through other communities. Okay, you have strong native apps for mobile. I mean, the Slack apps are rated very, very high on Google Play Store, but also on Apple Play Store also, okay, Apple Store, and you have a platform that brings together groups that know each other already. On the flip side, like I said, there are no options for events. You can't brand your community, so you're actually branding. Well, when you come to Slack, you're actually helping Slack brand its own organization, because you can't brand your own community, and you pay by the member. Okay, so Slack is something to really think about in terms of pricing. So if you're looking for a Hivebrite alternative this year, I want to introduce you Discord. And Discord, like I said, Discord is kind of similar to Discourse in the sense that many people use Discord, okay, but Discord originally, and it still is, by the way, it's not, they haven't changed their niche. Discord originally was built for gamers. So this is actually something, but of course, you can also create communities there that are not into gaming. But I just want to let you know that the foundation, okay, the original premise, the original goal of Discord was to actually create communities for gamers, okay? So this is important. And so Discord was created for gamers. It's a good team chat platform. It's sort of like Slack, because it helps community members have conversations, right? So if you have a community and you care about actually sort of triggering conversations or keeping conversations going within your community, Discord could be a great alternative to Hivebrite. These conversations can be divided into lots of different discussion topics within a Discord server. That's how they call those categories. Like on other platforms, they call them spaces, and on Discord, they call them servers. Okay, so like some of the options that I've just given you into this conversation, Discord doesn't have it all. Okay, it does conversation well, but doesn't have events, and definitely lacks the analytics options that Hivebrite really has. So something to really think about. So what are the quick pros and cons here? Pros: Discord is actually free and well known. Everybody knows Discord. Okay, at least most people know Discord. It's good for conversations. But on the flip side, there are no live event functions, and it really Discord is not functional for organizing a large community, which goes back to what I just told you a little earlier, that if you start with a small community, no problem. But once you scale, once your community expands, and you need a larger platform to actually to engage on, basically, you're not going to really find Discord interesting. So if you're looking for a Hivebrite substitute this year, I want you to also think about Facebook groups. I mean, Facebook groups, the cool thing about Facebook groups is that it has the branding. It has the backing of a well-known brand, Meta, okay? And so this is kind of cool. But basically, one thing you need to really understand here is that Facebook groups is free, right? It's widely used. Everybody knows it. But it has the platform has many limitations, especially if your goal is to actually build a community. So basically, when you have a Facebook group, and that's the first limitation, it doesn't actually show all of your content to your members. You're fighting with the algorithm, and it's hard to keep a group engaged, okay? Because remember, on Facebook, you have a lot of distractions, quote unquote distractions. And Facebook is built that way because they want to retain people on their platform. So they will serve people whatever they think is actually interesting for them to actually keep them on the platform, okay? So that's an important element. And also, what you need to really understand is that more and more people are also boycotting Facebook for different reasons, which makes it challenging to create a community in a place where your members might not want to hang out. In other words, you have the reputation issue. I mean, every now and then, a big company like Facebook, every now and then goes through some what I call reputation yo-yos, okay? And you just want to make sure that you find a way to actually have a platform that's independent of those yo-yos. Finally, you are competing with just about everything on Facebook, from the 37 other groups each of your members join, to the pics of their BFF in the Bahamas. I'm just telling you, like, there are a lot of distractions here, okay? So for all those reasons, Facebook is not the best Hivebrite alternative out there, but it is an option for you if you're looking for a free and easy option to set up a basic group. Okay, so pros and cons here. Pros, lots of users are already familiar with it. Everybody knows Facebook, right? They have 1.2 billion members, 1.2 billion users. You have solid products and web and native apps, and you have an easy group setup. Okay, the conversation is there. Again, it's free. On the flip side, you're fighting the algorithm. You're competing for attention. You shouldn't be competing for attention. If you build a community, you want your community's attention 100%. Okay, but yeah, and also from time to time, like I said, Facebook group goes through some reputational issues, so people might be boycotting Facebook, and you also have limited features, especially when it comes to community building in the long run. So the takeaway here is that I just gave you the top 6 best Hivebrite alternatives. Okay, it's important to really understand here is that when you are looking to build a community, whether you go with Hivebrite or you go with those 6 alternatives that I gave you, you shouldn't be just thinking about your monetization. And like I told you at the very beginning of this show, it's important to focus on the 4 C's. So community, courses, commerce, and the fourth C will come to me later on. But basically, the whole idea here is that you have to really make sure that you are actually building something that actually can help you expand. So the 4th C is calendar in terms of events. Okay. So one thing I want to say here is that you have to really understand basically the features that you're looking for should match the kind of community you want to build, should actually match the kind of audience you want to attract to your community, the kind of members you want to attract to your community. Okay. Of course, Hivebrite is great, but you want to make sure that if you, for any reason, you don't like Hivebrite, for any reason, if you want to really just try something else, that you are looking for the monetization, the courses, but most importantly, the pricing too, because the last thing you want is to actually get stuck, quote unquote, stuck to a platform that doesn't deliver, right? So, but if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. If you still have questions in terms of which one you should choose, let me know in the comment section, and I'll certainly let you know which one is good for you, depending on your niche, depending on your location, depending on what kind of features you are looking for in community platform, and also maybe Hivebrite may not be that bad for you either. Maybe you just need to really tweak your Hivebrite sort of subscription and actually use the platform as it is. Okay, but hey, I just wanted to let you know. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll certainly give you a more personalized. My team and I will give you a more personalized answer to your question. If your goal once again is to actually change your Hivebrite, or your goal is to avoid Hivebrite at all. As a recap into this conversation, I talked to you about the best Hivebrite alternatives. So those top alternatives include Mighty Pro, Kajabi Community, Discourse, Slack, Discord, and Facebook groups. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.